Hi, welcome to 40 days of vlogging for Lent. And I don't know, I just decided, I did this, I think during the pandemic, or in 2020, during November, and I felt like I wanted to do this for Lent, as this is my first Lent and my first Easter where I'm not pastoring a church or preaching, and also deconstructing some things and just trying to figure out where I go next. And one of the things as I've been reading stuff and following people and listening to new voices, which, as an aside, I am going to do Thurman's book for Lent, 40 Day Journey. And I've heard a lot of good things about him, been wanting to read him, so good excuse to do that. So back to what I'm saying. One of the things that I don't hear people talk about a lot, or at least I haven't found so far, is how up and down it is when you're healing from religious trauma, when you're deconstructing, when you've been pastoring for whatever, almost 20 years, and then you leave your church. And like, it really is an up and down thing. Like, one day you're feeling great and you're hopeful and you're like, I'm going to find a version of God that I can really truly follow and believe, right? Like, this is the Jesus I believe in. This is the Jesus I love. And then the next day you're really angry and just raging at the world. And the next day the grief is so profound that you can barely get out of bed. And it's a very up and down thing. And mostly when I've heard a few people talk about it, then Christians are like, some Christians are just awful, just terribly awful. Because you're doubting and you're wrestling and you're asking questions, and how can that be, and whatever. Just walk by faith, which is basically just dismissing what you believe and how you feel and where you're at in your life, and it's crap. Don't do that to people. It's horrible. So anyway, today I woke up with a massive headache, probably because it's snowing, probably because I need to go to the chiropractor, which I'm going at right after this. And then also because it was kind of it was a week where there was a lot of ups and downs. And so there was a part of me that just didn't want to get out of bed today. And the bed was comfortable and I needed some sleep, and I could have just been like, yeah, I really need some sleep, which sometimes I do that, right? And today I'm like, no, I know that if I get up and get dressed and try some new makeup and go to the chiropractor and make some food and do something tangible, that'll help me process today and move into tomorrow. So that's kind of where I'm at today, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. I'm going to pull out some books that I'm reading and talk a little bit more about that. I just want to make a commitment to that. So the podcast, I'm going to put these on my YouTube channel. I'm also going to put these on the podcast, and I will put vlog next to it, so you know that it's a different kind of an episode. So you can listen to them or watch them or not. You can skip them and wait till the next one I do. But I suspect that there's people out there who are like me, who are like, how do you do every day? Like, how do I move through today? The whole one day at a time kind of a thing. And it is not linear. It's definitely not linear. And I knew that in my head, that it wasn't linear and that it wasn't going to be linear, but experiencing it is a whole nother thing. So I guess I'm going to talk about some of the things that I'm doing to help me process and walk through it. One of the things I'm doing is I'm crocheting again. I love this scarf. It's very cozy. And it's kind of like, it's like wearing a support blanket in the winter. And nobody knows. It's just whatever. And then back to meditating again. 5 minutes, just 5 minutes in the morning, like let my brain arrive with the rest of my body and show up today. Trying to do it at night as well. And, sometimes the old coping strategies are easier, like getting ice cream is a quick fix, right? It doesn't last forever, but temporarily I feel a lot better. Especially since even though I'm not supposed to be eating ice cream because I have a dairy intolerance. And some of those other things, right? Scrolling on my phone is so easy to do. And my phone updated and now Candy Crush is on it, even though I had uninstalled it. So now I need to uninstall it again because I started playing it yesterday. I'm like, this is not good for me. I need some discipline. So I think that's partially what the blog is. And partially it's for me for discipline. Partially it's for those people who are out there like me who are just trying to find their way through the everyday of deconstructing and healing from some kind of a religious crisis, trauma, or as a friend of mine says, adverse religious experience. Like, I think a lawyer came up with that term. But anyway, that's where I'm at. And I'd love for you to share where you're at in the comments. If you're one of those nasty Christians who are just going to come on here and leave me nasty comments about how I just need to suck it up and I'm a snowflake or whatever. First of all, I'm Gen X, so I could probably kick your butt when it comes to being tenacious. But also, so I'll probably block you. But I do want to hear from you where you're at and what you're struggling with, and if you're reading books or what you find that's helping you work through every single day. Anyway, that's what I have for today, and see you tomorrow. I know I'm behind a couple of days, but maybe I'll do a couple a day or something. Anyway, have a great whatever day it is of Lent.